Greetings, 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 family. Thank you, sister, for the love. Welcome. This is Amenti the Awakener, Amenti the Oracle, Amina Rukaya. And I'm just coming to share a soul download. And this download is going to be about the importance of compassion and us not losing our human compassion. And this download came to me this rising as I was woken up with a very serious pain in my head. And this pain was connected to somebody that had transitioned on Friday, giving thanks to the ancestrals. And so I want to talk about that a little bit because she is also encouraging me to talk about this situation. So a friend of mine passed on Friday, and even though she had been unwell for quite a while, she had been fighting. You know, her spirit is one of a fighter. She has been somebody who has shown me impeccable strength and impeccable determination and drive and value for life. Someone who really loves and enjoys life, right? But after celebrating her birthday last week, we got the news that she had transitioned on Friday. And the first feelings that I felt at the knowing of her transition was thank God that she's at peace, because she was going through quite a lot, and we'd become quite close over a number of years, and so had shared so many different experiences that we both were going through. So I was so thankful that she was in a space of peace. But then what also came to me were these feelings of the experience that she had here, and you know, the struggle that she went through with other people, finding it very difficult to give her compassion, to see her, see the true person beyond the pain and suffering that she was going through. And it was today that I was reminded of how important it is for us to be in a space of compassion, of always having compassion for each other. We are in a reality right now where we do not care about each other. When people are going through things, we look at them and we think, oh, well, why is she going through that? Or why are they dealing with it like that? Or I've been through worse and I didn't deal with it like that. We're coming from a very, very separate place. And this is all to do with that disconnection from the mother energy, that maternal feminine energy, that divine feminine consciousness. The divine feminine consciousness is what keeps us together. It's what helps us to know that we are all linked and connected. And I liken it to a relationship between a mother and her children, and a father and his children. It is said that we can have many fathers, but we will only have one mother. And I've seen this play out, you know, in my family. And my mum has, you know, me and my sister with my father, and two other children with another person. And what happens is you have these different energies, and the one common factor is you. As the mother, you are the common factor. And so where they may seem to war, and where they may seem to struggle and fight and oppose each other, it is the mother that helps them to understand that they are all one, that they all come from the same place, that they all come from the same love. They were all housed in the same womb. And that is what that mother consciousness, that divine feminine consciousness teaches us. It's here to remind us that we are connected. The illusion of separation comes from this patriarchal rule, this idea that we are separate and that any one can be better than the other. I mean, it's purely not true. And so we have lost our human compassion as we have become more masculine in our energy, as we've become more patriarchal in our energy. And so just bringing it back to this sister of mine who passed and transitioned on Friday, you know, I was just getting this glimpse of the other side of the story, what it was that she was experiencing, how people were treating her. And she cried many nights because people made her feel bad about the illnesses that she had. Greetings, Chani. She felt as if, you know, and the thing is, she was not somebody who looked for other people to be, you know, giving her empathy or sympathy. The girl went blind at one point. You know, she had back problems, she had brain problems, and she still persevered. I mean, even for me, like, I got into vegan cooking because of her, because she had so many different issues. You know, she had Crohn's disease, so she wasn't able to eat certain foods. So rather than see it as a way of looking at how much she could have been limiting me as the cook for my band, I looked at it like, how can I help her to feel nourished? How can I help her to feel as if she is still valid, even though she's got all of these illnesses and all of these sicknesses? And, you know, in her transitioning, I've just been reminded of how important it is to just hold space for each other. You know, sometimes we're going through our own stuff in life, and so we don't have the time, nor do we have the space within to be able to deal with other people's things. But that compassion, that feminine art of compassion, is so important, especially in this time. There are so many people who are losing their way, so many people who are going through traumatic situations. There are so many people seeking, and the one thing that we miss out on is that human compassion, that ability to hold space for each other. We have these expectations of each other, and we're not willing to be open and give. And so as I was thinking about her experience, it just started to make me feel a bit sad. But I just prayed for her, and I just knew that she was transitioning into a better place. And so yesterday now, I found that I was getting these headaches, really, really bad headaches. I was getting these headaches, and I noticed that there had been a lot of energy shifting on the planet recently anyway. So I thought that it was down to that. So I went and prayed and I went and chanted, but I was still getting these headaches. And I decided to go and lie down. And as I went to lie down, another sister who knows this same sister, who's all the way in another part of the world, she called me. And she was like, you know, I really just needed to reach out to you. Something is telling me that we need to connect. And she was also going through her own moment of being able to process what was going on. She was at the sea and she was trying to process what was happening with this sister that had transitioned. And it's like in that moment we both had found each other because we were both tuning into her vibration. We were tuning into the vibration of love for her. But I couldn't even engage in the conversation anymore because my head was hurting me so much. And I went to lie down, and I was lying down, and she came into my consciousness, and she was like, this is what I was going through. And I felt this pain in my head. Found out later that it was a hemorrhage that she went through, a hemorrhage in the brain. And after I felt this pain, I felt this like elixir of honey just being poured into my brain, and it was soothing every part of my head and making me feel at peace. So when I rose this morning, her energy was still very much with me. And what she wanted me to share was about the gift of compassion, how important it is for us to allow moments of, you know, to allow and create sacred space for other people to heal, to allow space for people to go through what it is that they need to go through, and to have that love and that compassion and that empathy. We as human beings have become so fixated on our own lives, our own situations, everything that we are going through, that we find it difficult to spare a moment in love, empathy and compassion for somebody else. But we are always being tested in those moments. Just because you see somebody who seems to look as if they are unwell, or seems to be, you know, even seem as if they're milking it, you know, we don't have that right to judge. If we can do anything in that moment, is to give that person a bit of compassion, a bit of understanding, acknowledge our humanity. Okay, so the message that's coming from the divine feminine today is, let us not forget our compassion. Let us not forget to hold space for each other. Let us not forget to see the humanity in each other, because it's the mother that helps us to know that even though we look different, even though we're all going through different things, that we are the same, that we've come from the same space, and that which runs within us, that which fuels us, comes from the same force. And that is the force of the mother of God, the mother goddess, the mother aspect of the creator. And so to my sister, I want you to rest and rise in power. And I just thank you for this reminder. And that's what I wanted to share with you all today. The divine feminine energy is reminding us to re-establish those feminine qualities within ourselves and see them as valuable again. Love, compassion, empathy, nurturing, all of these things are very, very powerful qualities, but ones that have been pushed aside in favor for, you know, brute force and aggression and, you know, survival. As we move out of the experience of the lower self, where we're governed by our survival instincts, where we see ourselves as separate, where we're trying to, you know, struggle for power and control against each other, we move into the heart where we understand that we are all one, and that when we're moving from that space, each one of us is tapped into an unlimited source of power and potential. The rise of the divine feminine consciousness is not about women fighting against men or who is better or who is worse. It's about bringing things into oneness. It's about understanding that there is a logical way of doing things, but there's also another way of doing things, a creative way, an intuitive way of doing things. And it's encouraging us as humans to bring back that divine feminine consciousness and reinstate those qualities within us of healing, of compassion, of love, of empathy. Because when we combine those with those masculine aspects of, of determination, of strength, of courage, of protection, when we bring those energies together, that's when we truly are in a space of oneness. That's when we truly are in a space where we can love each other unconditionally, without fear or illusion of separation, fear that anything can be taken away from you. I mean, that is just not the reality. We are all one, connected to the one divine source, and the divine mothers are reminding us that you can have many fathers, meaning that there will be many pathways to the divine, but there will only be one mother. There is only one Holy Spirit. There is only one inanimate life force that keeps everything in creation going. And that is the source of who it is that we are. And so we're being encouraged to tap into that quality. We're being encouraged to tap into that love, tap into that nurturing, tap into that compassion. And do not see it as a weakness, but see it as a strength. Because every war on this planet has been fought in separation. It's been fought in, trying to take control or power away from each other. No wars have been fought in the name of bringing humanity together. Because love knows no war. Love just is. And so I want to thank my sister for reminding me of the importance of compassion and the importance of being there for each other no matter what. We don't always have to have the answers. We don't always need to know what to do. But what we can do is hold space for each other.